Hello everybody and welcome to another video. I'm Nate with Nate Lawson Photography, and today I'd like to present a short little video on a review of a product that I am in love with. I actually got it for Christmas, and that is the HiLO lens and X grip case. Now if you haven't heard of these guys, they started off as a Kickstarter project that was just super successful, and they've gone on and now are creating and producing these HiLO lenses and cases for everybody out there. I will give you their website and information later in the video, but let's just jump right into going through the review of what it is. And here's the HiLO lens, and it is encased in this nifty little metal case with a convenient keychain ring here, and this is the X grip case. Now with the lens, what I really like about it is that it is small, portable. It's in this nifty little case. It's got a black O-ring gasket there, and all you do is unscrew the bottom, the base of it. It holds the lens right in there, and you can see the gasket there to protect it from the elements. But then you just take out the lens, and there it is. It's small, lightweight, but it is still sturdy, and it feels really well made. I believe it's some sort of metal casing. But what's really nice is that it's true optics. It's not just a mirror that's reflecting the scene from outside into your iPhone camera. So there are true optics in here, which gives the image quality a boost. It's really nice. And along with that, in the top of the case, there is a lens cleaning cloth. Now, the first drawback. I have relatively large fingers, and at times it's difficult to get the lens cleaning cloth out of the cap. I have to keep trying to get an edge to pull it out. But once you do, it's got their nice little HiLO lens logo on there. Um, it's a nice little white lens cleaning cloth. It is attached to the top of the case, so you're not going to lose it, drop it anywhere, and forget where you put it. But then you just wipe off the top of the lens there. You can wipe off the smaller lens. You can clean the lens on your camera itself, and then you can just push that right back into the cap, and it serves kind of a dual purpose because once you put the lens back in the case, the actual lens is protected by that cloth, so it's not getting scratched inside the case. So that is a pretty convenient little area for it. Once you get the lens, it'll come with a tacky pad that's right here. I've taken mine off, and I'll explain why a little bit later. But there's a little tacky pad there. You just remove the protective film, and then all you do is you just line it up with the lens on your phone. By looking through the lens here, you can actually see the lens in your camera there in the phone. You line it up and press it to the phone to stick it there, and then you're ready to start taking some pictures. If you need to change the orientation, you just pop it off, rotate it, and stick it back on. The tacky pad is able to be cleaned. Now you don't want to submerge the lens into water, but if you just get a wet cloth or something, you can wipe off the tacky pad and clean it up, and it'll be sticky again. I did use that for a little bit until I was able to receive a new X-back case, X-grip case, because the wrong one was ordered. I got the iPhone 5 case, but I have an iPhone 4S, so I wasn't able to use the X-grip case to begin with right off the bat, so I did use the tacky pad. And I can tell you that not once did the lens fall off of my camera. and not once did it even seem like it was trying to fall off. And I walked around the desert. I would lay the phone on the ground, lay it on a rock, lay it on wood to get some really cool angles, and the lens stayed in place every time. So it is pretty nice. Now, like I said, I've removed the tacky pad on my lens, and that is because I do have the X-Grip case. And if you see this notch right there, that is where the lens sits. And once you take off the tacky pad, you're not going to be able to see it very well. But there's a small lens right here on the back, and it has a little lip. And what it does is it sits in there, you slide it in there, and the grip actually holds the lens in place. So once you install the X-Grip case on your phone, and it's just mounting it on the corners, snapping it into place, and you're ready to go. Now you can see the little cutout on the back there, and I apologize for the tremors here. My shaking seems to be a little bad today, but bear with me. Then you just slide the lens into that little cutout, and it is attached. There you see. And then you can just rotate it, whether or not you want portrait mode or landscape mode. You're not having to remove it, rotate it, and reapply it. You can just rotate the lens right in there, and it holds it in place. It's not going to go anywhere. So then when you don't want to use the lens anymore, you just slide it right out. So the case itself it's a 3D printed product, which gives it a nice texture, which is really important, because if you've ever used an iPhone without a case and you've set it down on something, it tends to slide around. It's very slick surface on the phone. So with this case, I've set it on my leg, on the car seat next to me, and it doesn't slide anywhere. So it's really nice that it's textured to give you a little grip. It does have the corners that protect the phone in case you ever drop your phone, and none of us like to do that. So it does protect the case, or it does protect the phone pretty well. Now, it's not a full iPhone case, which it's not meant to be. So you still should be careful that you don't drop your phone, but in case you do, accidents happen. The X-Grip case will protect those precious corners. So speaking of cases, if you do not have the X-Grip case and you want to get the HiLO lens, you will need to remove whatever case you have on your phone before you attach the lens, because you're not going to get the alignment right, and it may not stick to the case itself, and you don't want your lens to fall off. So you'll need to remove whatever case you have on there, whether it's an OtterBox or whatever, and put the lens directly on the phone. I had a full case. I didn't like it. It was too bulky. But then I was always afraid of dropping my phone because it wasn't protected. But this doesn't add any bulk to the phone. It still slides easily into a pocket. I can put it in my jacket, whatever, but it still protects the phone pretty well. So both of those products together make one outstanding photography adventure with your iPhone. It also has an app, and you can download the app for free from iTunes. You do not need to have the HiLO lens in order to use the app, but you do need to set some settings within the app in order to tell it you do not have the HiLO lens attached. And I will be going through the app as well, so I can show you a couple of those settings. So overall, both of these together are outstanding. I highly recommend, if you are on the fence on buying a third-party lens for your iPhone, I would recommend, beyond a shadow of a doubt, over anything else, to look at the HiLO lens first. You're going to get true optics with the lens. It's not a gimmicky type special effects Holga effect lens. This is a true lens that works really well, and the angles that you can achieve with this lens are unachievable with anything else, because I can put this lens on and then I can set this camera, I can set the camera, the phone, on the ground. So I'm getting a quarter inch off the ground, and I can actually focus on an object about an inch away. So the optics come into play there because I can focus right on something right in front of the lens. And if you don't have the HiLO lens, you're not going to be able to get the camera or your phone low enough or at the right angle to get any really low angle shots. And I'll show you a couple of those later. Or you can hold it normal and you can get a vertical image up the trunk of a tree, up the side of a building to get some neat perspective on taller structures. If you're a street photographer and you're self-conscious about walking around going like this, trying to get a candid shot of somebody and waiting to focus and clicking the button, you know, this is kind of obvious when people are doing this. You know that they're taking pictures. But with this, with the HiLO lens, you can hold it down and pretend like you're just messing with your phone. The lens, although it is visible, it's small, it's black, it blends in with the case, with the phone. So I've even put my finger up the top, and that kind of helps block the view of the lens itself. And I can sit there and I can wait until somebody's within a few feet of me, and I can just hit the button and take their picture. It's a candid shot. They never even noticed that I was standing there because, you know, smartphones are so popular. Everybody has one. We're blind to the fact. You know, you walk around, people don't look twice at somebody if they're sitting there with their nose in their phone anymore. It's kind of sad, but it's true. So they aren't going to notice that you're taking their picture. So if you do like to do the street photography and candid shots, you can do that. Another nice feature with the app is that it's voice activated. So I can set the phone down somewhere and then give it a voice command and it'll take my picture or it'll start taking video. If you're too far away for the phone mic to pick up your voice, there's a delayed shutter feature in the app, which is really cool, that you can set a 10-second, for instance, delay. You hit the shutter, hold down the shutter button for a couple seconds, it activates that delayed shutter. You run around in front, wait the 10 seconds, it'll snap your picture. So you don't always have to have your finger on the shutter button. Super brilliant idea. I really love it. So if you're looking to get something, look at HiLO lens and go from there, because I always have this with me. This is attached to my keychain with my keys. I'm always going to have my phone. So anytime I feel, you know, I have a break somewhere, I can slap the lens on, walk around a little bit, get some cool shots, and put the lens away and go back to work. So I'm really happy with it, and I recommend that you go check out their website and see for yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over into the app really quick, and I'll go through a quick rundown of some of the settings that you can do within the app itself. Okay, so here we are in my iPhone, and once you download the app, just navigate to wherever you put it. Mine's in my photography folder. You know, open it up there, and what you'll see first is this nifty little instruction splash screen, and it's got 3 very basic steps: set orientation, tap to focus, and always have fun. Going from left to right at the bottom, you'll have your camera roll that you can view images that you've taken. Next, you have the set orientation button. You would use this depending on whether or not you're using it in portrait mode or landscape mode. You have the big shutter button in the middle. You can switch to the video function. And then the last one is your options. And we'll start with the options button to go through some of the settings that you can change within the app. So at the top, you can get to their support feature. You can rate them on iTunes, or you can go to their site and buy the HiLO lens. Next, you have the image correction, so you can straighten your photo and your video. And then you have the mirroring. Mirroring, that's such a weird word. But this setting, you need to change if you, based on whether or not you have the HiLO lens or not. So if you do have the lens, you want to set it on. And if you do not have the HiLO lens attached, you'd want to turn this function off, telling the app that you're looking directly out of the phone camera. And then you have photo settings, the resolution, compression. If you like to take Instagram shots, you can turn square photos on and it'll automatically do square images. Field of view is another option that's determined on whether or not you have the HiLO lens attached or not. If you do have the lens, you want to leave it at standard. If you do not have it, you want to switch that to wide because that's your phone camera format. Then there's the shutter delay I was talking about in 10 seconds. So once you want to take a picture, you can just hold down the shutter button for a couple seconds. It'll activate that delay, and then you can get in front of the camera and wait the allotted time, and it'll take a picture. And you can change that number to give you more or less time. Video settings, you have your resolution, your aspect ratio for portrait and landscape, and then whether or not you want to record the audio or not. And then here's your voice control options. I would recommend leaving this option off until you are ready to use it, because if there's any noise or if you're talking with this option turned on, the app is going to try and find the command, and it might either not find it and not be able to take the picture, or it's just recommended that you leave this off until you're ready to use it. The command prefix, I left it with the default. It's just HiLO. So I can start my command with HiLO and then say take picture or take photo, and it'll snap the picture. And then you can go through the display phrases on what you want. You can disable or prefix only or whatever. Gesture support, rotate and pinch are options. And then last down here at the bottom, you can disable the auto lock, you can dim the screen. You have your GPS location and show help buttons. This show help option will turn off that initial help splash screen when you enter the app. So if you don't want to see that every time, you can go ahead and shut that off. Then you can just select done, and it'll go back to the app itself. Now here I am in portrait mode, and you can see I'm focused in on my homemade iPhone pinhole camera. I just made it out of my iPhone box. But I have the lens actually resting on the glass desk that's right here. And then if I just slowly move the camera, the phone closer, you can see I'm continuously focusing, still kind of focused. I'm about an inch away from the pinhole camera at the moment, and I'm still focused pretty well. It'll start to get a little blurry. Like I can't get too closer. It's not going to be able to focus. But I can back it up until it's focused. There we go. And if I double tap the screen, it's going to go to continuous focus with an overall exposure of the scene. So then I can move the camera around and it'll try and focus on what I'm looking at. Now if I tap once and then tap and drag, aha, you see I got both a focus point and an aperture ring. The aperture ring, if you're not familiar with camera terms, is basically in this case it's going to determine the highlights and shadows and your shutter speed. So if I go to a dark area in the scene, see how it brightens up the scene overall, and if I want more of the highlight detail, I just drag it down to a brighter area, Then I can grab the focus and I can move it around, and I want to focus on the 4, but I want the exposure to be set, over here so it's not blown out. And then I can hit the shutter button and take a picture, and I can move this around. It'll focus in on what I'm looking at right there. And then if you ever want to get back to continuous focus, just double tap on the screen and you're back to where you were. The rotate orientation button, which is second from the left down here at the bottom, sets your orientation. So right now I'm in landscape mode, but if I wanted to change to, I'm sorry, I'm in portrait mode. But if I wanted to change to landscape mode, I would just change this until it was correct. Now I'll go through the whole setup here. Then once you're done, hit the set button, and then you can tell the app what is the top of the image. And in this case, it's that one. And then you're ready to go. So now, with that, I'm going to rotate the lens so it's in landscape mode. Now you'll see the scene is different. I need to reset the orientation, and unfortunately, because I'm using this screen capture software, I can't rotate the image on the screen. But on the phone, my image is actually upside down. So just pretend that the iPhone image on the screen is rotated counterclockwise. And then just like you're holding the phone landscape style and ready to take a picture, you'll notice that the scene will be upside down. So what I want to do is set the orientation. And so I'll tap that until it's correct, and which is twice in this case. Hit the set button and then tell that it's the top. Now if you pretend and rotate the phone image counterclockwise, you'll see that it's correctly oriented, and then I can take landscape shots. Very convenient that I do not have to remove the lens and realign it on the phone. I can just rotate it within the case. And then if I want to go back to portrait mode, I just rotate it again. Go back down to the set orientation. I'll set the orientation until it is correct. Hit the set and tell it that that's the top of the image. And you're ready to take photos. So the app is really great. I like the high-end feature basically of, tapping, and I can drag the exposure and the focus independently of each other. That's a lot of times reserved for higher end camera apps. So that's a really cool feature of the HiLO lens app, that I can do that. Double tap again, I'm back to continuous focus. So give it a shot, download it, play with it for a while, even if you don't have the HiLO lens, but you really get the most benefit out of this app if you do have the HiLO lens attached. So I hope this helped shed some light on this great product, and I will show you a few images I've taken with it to give you an idea of the quality of the images that you can take. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment, drop me an email or whatever, and I'd be more than happy to help out. So thank you for watching this review video on the HiLO lens and X grip case, and until next time, take care.